Hi, Cat and Caboodle here. So sorry it's been a couple weeks since I posted my last video. I have been taking care of foster kittens. So these two little guys, well, guy and gal, have been taking up a lot of my time. When I got them, they were about a week old. They're 4 to 5 weeks old now. Hi. I didn't really want to post them until they were doing well. They are toothless. Come here, toothless. Toothless and pinto weaned. And they will be going to their new homes in the next few weeks. Yes, I'll put you down. It's fine. So this video is going to probably be a little bit shorter than a normal video. I mostly just wanted to let you guys know that I'm still here. I'm still okay. I'm just really busy between school and work and now kittens. But I did get around to using some of that Dollar Tree crafting supplies that I had shown you guys, I think in the last video. So I did go ahead and make up, I don't know if you can see that there's butterfly design on that one. And also on this one here. Oh, you can see that one much better. And then I also did start on the Diamond Dots project. It's just taking me a lot longer than expected because I have kittens I'm taking care of now. But since we have cute, adorable kittens, I thought I would go over a little bit of how I care for my babies, because everyone's going to be a little bit different. Each kitten is a little bit different. Of course, they all have their own personalities. So I figured I would maybe go over some of like what I do in order to take care of my kittens. So I got these guys at a week old, and actually found out that they can open their eyes from anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, which I always thought it was 2 weeks. So I had misaged them, which means I weaned them a little bit earlier than I normally would have. But hey, yeah, are you eating me? Hi. But I always start them off, if they're itty bitties, I always start them off the first night or two that I have them. I usually feed them every 2-ish hours, 2 to 3 hours, just to make sure. Like if it's one that we aren't sure when the mother was with them last, I'll definitely do every 2 to 3 hours. If it's ones that we know, like with these guys, their mom had been hit by a car, so we knew that it had been that day that she had most likely been with them, then I do every 4 hours, which is what's recommended. And with kittens, you really have to watch, because you're going to end up with, if you have formula, kittens that you're going to have to put on formula, you're going to have either diarrhea or constipation issues. So you always have to keep an eye on that. With these guys, I did have to do enemas on them. With my last kittens, I had to do enemas on them. It's just something that happens with doing the formula. Usually you just water it down and it helps a lot. With kittens this young, you also have to stimulate, well, not at this age now, but up until they're about 4 to 5 weeks old, you have to stimulate them in order for them to go to the bathroom, because they don't know how to do it on their own. Their mom is in charge of all of that. So, hi. With my cats, except for Pascal, but Anna and Legolas are amazing at taking care of them and helping me with making sure they stay clean and making sure they go to the bathroom and all that type of stuff. Loki used to help out with them, but with my last set of kittens, Anna and Yumi, he got a little bit too excited about playing with them, and so Legolas kind of smacked him around a little bit, and so ever since then he's been a little bit more leery about jumping in and helping out with the kittens, which I don't blame him. Hi. Yeah. So as you can see, totally different personality types here. We've got Pinto Bean, who is just happy and content to just lay here and sleep and nap on me. If I put him down, he's going to run around and do his own thing. But when he's with me, he's usually napping. And then you've got little Miss Toothless here, who is playing with my hair and trying to get my attention. Yeah. But overall, these kittens have been really good. I haven't had any issues with like upper respiratory issues or anything like that. So that's really nice. But I'm trying to think. I will probably do another video later that has a little bit more information. I just figured since I had them here and they're real cute, I would show them off and give a little information on them. These guys were a litter of 7 kittens, and there are currently 5 that are still alive. Occasionally you get kind of spontaneous death in kittens, and it's hard to know if it's a congenital issue or what's wrong with it. I only took 2. We divided, a couple of my coworkers and I divided them up, because having to do 7 kittens by yourself will make you go insane. I can barely do 2. I've done 3 before, and that's extremely difficult as well. I've also tried fostering kittens of slightly different ages at the same time, and that's also very difficult because usually the bigger kitten is going to kind of pick on the smaller one, and you really have to watch to make sure that they're not hurting each other. Oh my goodness, you guys are freaking adorable right now. Hi, are we falling asleep? Hi. And like I said, I had misaged these guys, so I weaned them a little bit earlier than I should have, and I was spacing their feedings out more than I should have. So when I talked to my veterinarian, which you should always do anytime you have kittens, you should always make sure you're taking them to the vet to get them checked out. She said that they were underweight and malnourished, which is very rare for me to have animals that are underweight in any respect. Most of my animals are overweight. I like to feed my animals. I like to feed myself. So there you go. But yeah, so the only difference that I did was to make them smaller amounts of food, but feed them more frequently. So they're back to a 4-hour schedule right now. And they've both gone through growth spurts since I started feeding them like that again. And then I don't feed them at night when I'm sleeping, so that they get used to, okay, this is the sleeping time. Now we're up, we're eating, we're having fun and doing our own thing. And with these guys, they're still fairly young, so they will pass out kind of randomly sometimes if they've been up running around for too long. Pinto Bean will actually sit on my foot and just fall asleep. It's real freaking cute. And like right now, they are being litter box trained. A lot of the times with kittens, in order to litter box train them, I will stimulate them over a litter box. That way they get used to the idea of, okay, this is where we go to the bathroom. It works really well. I've always been able to potty train my kittens pretty easily. These two have been a little bit more difficult, but I also didn't follow that rule of making sure to stimulate them over litter boxes. I probably shouldn't have taken on 2 foster kittens right now because I am so busy, and I think that's part of the issue. But like I said, they're doing great. They're eating. They finally started drinking out of a water bowl yesterday. It's interesting, the little things you forget that they don't know how to do, like cleaning themselves. These little guys, when I got them, did not know how to clean themselves. You have to teach them that, and that's where it comes in handy to have like Anna and Legolas, who are right there after, I mean, admittedly, it's because the kittens taste really good. But where they're there, you know, right there to help clean everything off. Because you can always tell a kitten who didn't have the best of moms because they're usually a little bit on the dirty side. They don't really know how to take care of themselves. Or like there's a kitten mate in this litter, Margot, we've nicknamed her the swamp monster because she's just the messiest little bean ever. She gets her face all up in the food and then she just falls asleep. That's it. She's done. She's out. She doesn't care that she looks like she's covered in poop. Like she's fine with it. Whereas like someone like Toothless, she gets just a little bit on her paw and she gets very upset. Toothless really doesn't mind as much, but the more Legolas is working with him and cleaning him and things like that, he's gotten much, much better with it. I'm trying to think of what else. Obviously, if there are questions that you guys have about foster kittens, just leave them in the comments below, and I try to read all my comments. Obviously, I'm not a veterinarian. This is not medical advice. This is just what's worked for me. And with kittens, like when I got these guys, they were about a week old. I use syringes for feeding my kittens that are that small, especially with ones like Pinto. At some point, I'll probably post some pictures of him. He was very tiny. He fit in the palm of my hand, like this part of the palm of my hand. He's very, very tiny when I first got him. And he was really weak, and he was the runt of the litter. I ended up with the runt and then one of the biggest ones in the litter. And honestly didn't know if he was going to make it through the night, which again is why I did not post them sooner, because I was concerned about him and the fact that he wasn't really getting bigger. And kittens that are tiny and do not grow, even if they're eating, especially if they're eating and they don't grow, it can be a sign of a bunch of different health issues, one of which is a liver shunt, which is where their liver doesn't close off properly when they're born. Hi! And to my knowledge, that is not something that can really be fixed. And then you can also have heart shunts and things like that, just like in people, where their hearts don't close off properly. And those are not something that you can usually fix either. It requires open heart surgery. And on something this tiny, it's just not. Usually, the odds are not in their favor at all. Hi. And then Yeah, so I will usually syringe feed them until they're probably about 3 weeks old. Sometimes I'll just continue to syringe feed them because the nipples on a lot of the bottles are too big for their mouths. And I've run into a lot of issues with kittens getting what's called, aspiration pneumonia, which is where they actually inhale the formula. And I find that I get more of an issue with that with the bottles, with the actual nipples and things on them. So that's why I prefer to do syringes. And I work at a place where I can purchase them. So it's not as much of an issue. I don't know if I think you can buy them in store now to a certain extent. But they latch on and just suck that sucker down after a certain point. And then you just follow the instructions on because I use like Kitten Milk Replacer, KMR, Pet AG brand, Pet Egg, I guess, I don't know. But those are both brands that I've used. I currently switched over to one that has more taurine in it. That's supposed to help their eyesight, but that one seems to really make them constipated. So I don't know if I'll stick with that one or not. And then once they start getting their teeth in, you usually mix the formula with a little bit of wet food. I had been doing AD, which is high-calorie wet cat food, cat or dog food, actually. Because I work in a veterinary clinic, I have access to like Science Diet and things like that. And that gives them really bad diarrhea, I found out. So maybe try something that's more kitten-friendly. I went with ID. I did switch them over to ID, which is one that helps with digestion, so it's not as hard on them. And then I have them right now on just hard kitten food and some of the ID wet food because they're still learning how to chew. That's one thing you don't want to make a mistake on, is to give them wet food if they don't know how to chew yet, because then they'll either just sit there sucking on the food, which is going to get them nowhere, or they're going to try to just swallow it whole, which is not safe either. And this batch of kittens are actually, these two are very calm and mellow, but Margot and Clementine, which one of my coworkers have, they are active as heck. Like, they are running around, they are playing. So when I say that there are different personality types, I mean it. And it doesn't even have to do with how they're being raised necessarily. It's sometimes just the way the kittens are. Yeah, these three, I mean, if you get them in with their siblings, they'll start playing and running around. But Pinto is more of a kind of watch and see. He's the tiniest. He's a boy. He likes to be babied, and I'm terrible about babying him because he's so tiny. And he's fully passed out right now. And then, of course, you know, once they're about 5 to 6 weeks old is when I usually start introducing the dry food with the wet food. And then by the time they're 6 weeks, they really should be on dry food, 6 to 7 weeks, somewhere in there. I try not to wean them too early because I know that it can have issues with their with their mental as they get older. But at the same time, if the kitten, you know, the teeth are coming in like they're supposed to, and like I said, most of my kittens, I don't know how old they are when I get them. With my last set, they were still attached to their umbilical cords wrapped around each other. So, you know, that kind of lets you know right there that it hasn't had enough time for these to dry up and fall off. So that's less than a day. These guys, their eyes were open, which is why I thought they were 2 weeks. Comes out to find out they're probably closer to a week. We just thought they were kind of tiny. Sometimes that happens where if, you know, the mom has a litter of 7, she's having a hard time keeping up with feeding everybody, you're going to end up with smaller kittens. But yeah, I think that's everything. And then of course they can't be vaccinated till they're 8 weeks old. I don't anymore because I don't have the finances to be running tests on all my kittens. But I will typically let the owners know, like, you should really get them FIV and FELV tested, just to make sure, because they are stray kittens. We don't know their history. We don't know their parents. So with my last set of kittens, hi. I did FIV, FELV test both of them. And I typically do, especially if I'm going to be keeping one, like Anna was from the last batch. So I tested her, so I wouldn't have to test both because usually if one kitten has it in a litter, they all have it, because they've all been exposed. And a couple of fun facts that I have learned with having foster kittens, and all 3 of my cats that I currently have all been my bottle babies. Bottle baby kittens are different from regular kittens. So if you're wondering if your cat might be a bottle baby kitten, here are some signs to look for. First off, they love to touch your face. They love, like you just saw her do a little bit ago, they love to touch your face with their paws. Hi. They're much clingier than regular cats. They have no sense of personal space because they see you as another cat because they were raised by people. They kind of don't really seem to see a difference. My cats, a lot of the time, Legolas not as much anymore, but Pascal and Anna for sure will follow me from room to room. They are also a little bit more prone to separation anxiety, especially with me. I'm raised them, and so anytime I leave, Anna in particular, because she's younger, has a little bit of a harder time with it. So it's not that she destroys anything, she just gets really stressed. So I try to leave her something to do if I'm going to be gone for work or whatever. I was trying to take her to work with me, but there's so much noise and stuff there that it just wasn't working out. Hi. All of my bottle baby kittens that I currently have, they all give kisses. Yeah, they all, see, touching the face. She loves to touch the face. She's very nice about it. She doesn't use claws. It's just to be like, hey, I'm here. Pay attention. Yeah. And then all of mine also give kisses. They will lick your face. They like to groom. They like to try and groom me, which I do not like. Their tongues are very rough. It is not fun. And Anna really likes to clean my ears, so she's constantly giving me wet willies, and that's just not fun for anybody. She thinks it's the greatest, but I'm not. Oh my God, Toothless, you're being so cute. You're just being so cute. Yeah, so if you think you might have a bottle baby, those are some signs. And Johnny, who was a cat I had years ago, he had been a bottle baby. I had been told he had been a bottle baby, and I didn't know what that meant at the time. And then when I started keeping my bottle babies, I noticed, okay, yep, he's clingier. He throws tantrums. My bottle babies, you can hurt their feelings more. Like if you tell them no, and this is kind of a cat thing, they'll go mess up your stuff. Mine aren't so bad now. Johnny was all about, oh, you told me no, I'm going to go tear up your family photos now, or I'm going to eat the bottom of your dress, or, you know, just being a dork. But yeah. And if you talk to people who foster kittens, they will also tell you that there is a definite difference between regular kittens and bottle baby kittens. And they have a tendency to kind of, some of them have a tendency to kind of pick one person that they like, and that's it. And I don't know if that's just the personality traits of some of the ones that I fostered or why exactly that is. Like Legolas and Anna, they like everybody. But then there's Pascal and her sister that both just like one person. Pascal likes me, nobody else. If you ask my coworkers, they cannot touch her when she's in hospital. She loses her mind, even if she's just boarding. She's terrible. But then Digby, which is one that my brother has, that was one of my foster babies, kind of just likes him and is okay with me, but otherwise just doesn't really care about people all that much. He knows who feeds him, and that's the biggest thing. You want down? Look, that's enough. The neighbors are walking by. That's why Loki's having a fit. But yeah, I really wish I should. Are you done? Are you done? And Legolas actually broke into their little cattery that I have, their little playpen that I have for them, so that he could steal their leftovers. So the lovely little thing that I bought that was working so well is now broken. So now I got to figure out how to fix that. But yeah, that's kind of all for this video. Sorry, it's a little scatterbrained as always. I just really wanted to get something posted. I'm off to work. I'm going back to work tomorrow, and I need to get some stuff finished tonight. So I just wanted to put up a video, kind of let you guys know what's going on. Show off the kittens because they're super cute and adorable, and they're doing really well for me. And I'm excited that they're going to be going to their new home so that I can have a little bit of spare time to actually get stuff done when I'm not exhausted. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you would like me to do an actual foster kitten video, leave a comment below. Let me know. If there are questions that you have about foster kittens, by all means, let me know. Like I said, I'm not a veterinarian. I am a veterinary assistant, but I am not a veterinarian. So none of it is going to be medical advice so much, but I can give you pointers on different things that work for me, like having a heating pad. That was one thing I forgot to mention. Heating pads, stuffed animals to kind of help. These guys are really sad. The first couple nights I had them, they cried incessantly because they missed their mom. They were raised with their mom. They had their eyes open. They knew who she was. Whereas like other kittens that haven't been with their mom for very long don't cry all night long. So, but anyway, if you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, please leave them below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And someday I will move back to using my actual camera and actually edit these properly. I just don't have the time right now. Alrighty, so I will talk to you guys later, and yeah, alright, bye.